has returned with vengeance in his eyes, and he's not alone. Standing by his side is the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu, whose shocking arrival sent shockwaves through the WWE Universe. Together, they launched a brutal, calculated assault on Seth Rollins' dominant faction, blindsiding Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed in an all-out war that's just beginning. The balance of power on SmackDown has shifted overnight, and the battlefield is now wide open. What's next for Rollins' crew? Can they recover? Or has the rise of Reigns and Fatu changed WWE forever? Let's break it down. The Tribal Chief returns, but he's not alone. Roman Reigns, the undisputed Tribal Chief, is back, and not just to reclaim his throne, but to wage war. After a jaw-dropping return on SmackDown, Roman found himself under siege, outnumbered and battered by Seth Rollins' ruthless faction. Just when it looked like all hope was lost, the arena erupted as the Samoan werewolf himself, Jacob Fatu, stormed through the curtain. Fatu's timely arrival changed everything. Not only did he save Roman from a brutal beatdown, but he dropped a bombshell by publicly acknowledging Reigns as the true Tribal Chief. The crowd went absolutely ballistic. This moment sent shockwaves through the WWE Universe, leaving fans scrambling to understand what just went down and what it means for the future of the Bloodline, Seth Rollins' faction, and the WWE landscape as a whole. Setting the stage, Bloodline's rise and fall. Let's rewind a bit to get the full picture. Roman Reigns isn't just any superstar. He's the cornerstone of a dynasty, the Bloodline. For years, Reigns ruled WWE with an iron grip, holding the Universal Championship for over 1,000 days. By his side were his cousins, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, and later, Solo Sikoa, the fierce enforcer who injected new fire into the family. Together, they dominated WWE, with Reigns sitting at the head of the table, the Tribal Chief calling the shots. Paul Heyman, the brilliant strategist and voice of the Bloodline, was the mastermind behind it all, hyping Roman as untouchable, unstoppable. WrestleMania 41. The fall of a dynasty. Fast forward to WrestleMania 41, April 2025. The scene was set for a historic triple threat match for the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns defending against Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Stakes couldn't have been higher. Roman looked poised for another victory, but behind the scenes, Paul Heyman, the ever-faithful advisor, shattered trust. At the critical moment, Heyman betrayed Roman, distracting him just enough for Rollins to strike with a devastating curb stomp directly onto the title belt. The pinfall was swift. 1, 2, 3, and just like that, Roman's reign was over. Seth Rollins' reign of power and chaos. While Roman was sidelined, Seth Rollins seized his moment. Born Colby Lopez in Davenport, Iowa, Rollins had carved his legacy from the indie scene to WWE's brightest stages. Once a member of The Shield with Roman and Dean Ambrose, Rollins' 2014 betrayal, shattering Roman's back with a steel chair, cemented his identity as the architect of chaos. By 2025, Rollins was a multi-time world champion and a dominant force, with Paul Heyman now whispering promises of greatness in his ear. Carrying the Money in the Bank briefcase and the Universal Championship, Rollins built a faction to cement his rule: Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. June 13, 2025. SmackDown Live from Chicago. The night everything changed, back to the present. Friday night SmackDown. The All-State Arena packed with 18,000 roaring fans still buzzing from WrestleMania's fallout. Rollins' faction held court in the ring, soaked in their own arrogance, mocking Roman's legacy. Rollins spat into the mic, calling Reigns old news and crowning himself King of SmackDown. The crowd booed, tension crackling like static in the air. Suddenly, the lights dimmed. Tribal drums thundered through the speakers, shaking the very foundation of the arena. The crowd's anticipation soared. Then, the lights snapped back on, and there he was. Roman Reigns, black gear gleaming, hair slicked back, that fierce, unyielding glare locking on Rollins. Chaos erupts. The Samoan werewolf arrives before he could finish. Breaker and Reed pounced, launching a brutal 3-on-1 assault. Roman fought valiantly, landing a Superman punch and a spear, but the numbers overwhelmed him. Rollins and Heyman smirked ringside, savoring the beatdown. Then, the arena shook again. Heavy Samoan drums echoed, tribal war cries piercing the tension. The crowd's confusion turned to awe as Jacob Fatu, decked out in black and red, face twisted in a snarling mask of fury, blasted through the curtain. Fatu tore into Breaker with a thunderous superkick that echoed like a cannon blast, then stunned Reed with a jaw-dropping moonsault splash that flattened him near the barricade. Rollins looked stunned, Heyman's smugness shattered. Fatu pulled Roman up, took the mic, and thundered, "Solo Sikoa thinks he's the tribal chief. A new era begins. Bloodline reforged." Rollins' faction retreated, shell-shocked and rattled. Roman and Fatu stood tall, an unstoppable new force born of loyalty, vengeance, and power. Rollins thought he had SmackDown locked down. He was wrong. Fatu's speed, strength, and sheer brutality flipped the script. The bloodline was reborn, not as it was, but fiercer, bloodier, and hungrier. The faction wars are back, and SmackDown is about to get messy. Wrestling warriors. What a night. Roman's return, Fatu's explosive debut. This SmackDown was chaos at its finest. The tribal chief is back, the Samoan werewolf is by his side, and WWE is on fire.